Good afternoon, Austin. Thank you for taking some time out and getting involved in our business owner spotlight. Would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us all a bit about what you do?
Hi, Scott. Thanks a lot for having me on, and great to be involved. So, yeah, I'm Austen Burns, and I'm the founder of a website called personalcare.co.uk. And the idea behind personal care was to make it easier for disabled people and elderly people to employ their own care directly. So, typically in Northern Ireland, you have multiple options to receive care. So those that maybe need a bit of care at home or support, if you're disabled and need a bit of personal care or help around the house, there's multiple options to receive that care. And the traditional way or the most common way that people are aware of is when your local health authority, in our case, your local health trust, be that Belfast Health Trust or Southern Health Trust or whatever, they allocate you a care package. And as part of that care package, they might allocate carers that come into your home. So people are most familiar maybe with their granny who might have received a bit of care or whatever. Um, but one of the other ways of receiving care, which is particularly popular, it's growing all the time, but it's particularly popular amongst younger people, is direct payments. And direct payments is when the individual that needs the care is given a care budget. So a social worker would typically come out and do an assessment and say, okay, they need 10 hours of care each week to help them live independently. So with that budget, they have more flexibility, they have more choice and control over who they employ and who comes into their house to provide the care. So as part of that, they need to find a carer and they need to manage that care because they're essentially become the employer. Even though they're the recipient of the care, they get the budget and they become an employer. So they need to be able to do everything that a typical employer would do. And the first step or the first big step in that is the recruitment and the sourcing of people that is willing to provide support. Um, so actually, my background, just to give you one line
Sure.
of my background as to why I got involved in this, I went to uni many years ago, and I was given a care package when I went to uni, in that somebody to help me around the campus, somebody to do
Sure.
note taking, and I realized how that could be more personalized in the sense that I was studying computing and my first PA that we called him
Yeah.
wasn't really interested in computing, and because it was a really technical subject, you needed someone that had a bit of an understanding or a bit of an interest in it at least.
Yeah.
And I realized that the whole process could be a lot more personalized in finding someone that was a better fit for me and a better fit for them as well. It has to work two
Yeah.
ways, Um, because obviously care, it needs to be something you're interested in doing, and the person that you're providing support for, you need to be interested in working with them. So
Sure.
I realized then that there was an opportunity to start creating a list of people that were interested in the role, not just for myself, but other people of a similar age that needed a bit of support.
Yeah.
So that's, I suppose, where the idea originated from. And then in more recent years, um, it's sort of grown from there, and it's become its own business and its own thing, if you like.
Yeah.
So, and just and alongside that, then we have the software platform,
Okay.
Point Plan, and it allows the employer to manage all aspects of being an employer. So, first of all, the recruitment process, so they can post a job and they can manage the applicants that come through that. They can manage the rota, so they know that all their support for that week or that month is covered. And they can manage, that all the payments and stuff that they've made the payments and all the tasks have been completed.
I mean, that sounds really clever. So basically, somebody who needs that little bit of support can use your SaaS platform then to um, basically have their own sort of mini care company. Then is that a good way to look at it?
Absolutely. So yeah, the disabled person or the elderly person, they become an employer,
Yeah.
and they basically run their own sort of support.
Yeah, and
They
I
manage
mean,
it.
obviously, they're going to have if they want to go that way, that down that route and have the personalized package. they're going to have to run that like a business anyway. So you're just taking the hassle out of that and making it like a one-stop shop, all in one platform for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is one of the biggest challenge. Direct payments are fantastic.
Yeah,
Give the individual more choice, more control, more independence. But the individual does become the employer.
yeah,
So they do become like any other employer. They have all the statutory requirements that they need
sure.
to follow. They need to make sure that they're keeping a rota. They need to make sure that they're keeping notes
Yeah,
and there is a lot of responsibilities that become and it's something that can be easily overlooked because it is care for yourself.
yeah, of course.
You know, you don't think of yourself as being an employer because you're
Yeah,
employing someone to support you, but actually you have all the statutory requirements that you need to follow and
sure.
right through the work with HMRC and everything in between. So
And where could I avail of your service? Are you just based in Northern
so
Ireland,
so
or is it?
the main mailing list website to sign up and
Yeah,
be sort of register as a carer or someone needing support is called personalcarer.co.uk.
yeah,
People mix it up with
yeah,
personalcare.co.uk, but
yeah.
it's
Care.
CARER. So yeah, and that's like the mailing list website
Sure.
for those that want to sign up you know, to either join the platform as a carer or to maybe seek support.
Brilliant.
Alongside that, there's the software which is applicable to not just those that are getting support through direct payments, but other types of employers. So you might have like we have care homes, we have childcare facilities that use
Sure.
it, and it's called onpointplan.com. So
Cool.
it was not that long ago separated from the Care platform because we realized that there was an opportunity there for that software to be used as a bit wider, rather not just the typical
Sure.
direct payment employer.
Very good. And so it sounds like it's grown up. It's grown into quite a sizable business for you. You were a bit coy there with how long ago was the idea was born, but how long have you been in business for then?
So as well, from in business, I've been in like so the as in the company was registered around 2017, 18.
Yeah.
But I like I suppose the idea is right back to when I went to
Sure.
uni in
Yeah.
2010. So
So Nick, 8 years. Like, what's that journey been like for you? What's it been like owning your own business for the last 8 years?
yeah, it's like, do you know what? There's three reasons why I started it. First of all, studying technology and working in technology.
Yeah.
I'm always passionate about how to do things differently, how to do things more efficiently, how to solve a problem. And I think technology enables, you know, us to do that. But the
Yeah.
second reason is as a I have a physical disability and I have a walking frame, and I realize the need for more efficient and more effective ways of receiving care and support. And
Yeah.
I think the business of personal care and the technology to manage care um could be done more effectively
Of
and
course.
so much opportunity to do things differently. And again, the platform and technology allows us to do that. And the third thing obviously is seeing a project that you're passionate about, something that I've seen from my days at university. Um, you're always I suppose because I can personally relate to the problem, I can, it gives me that opportunity to solve something that I would have liked or I am, I'm excited about.
Yeah. And so, like, what sort of challenges have you come up against? While you've been running the business then?
Yeah, oh, like well, multiple challenges, but one of them from a personal point of view,
Yeah.
one of my main challenges is focusing on an area and really solving that problem and not getting distracted by so there's so much opportunity to do stuff in social care.
Yes.
There's so
Okay.
much opportunity to keep sort of coming up with the next shiny thing or the next idea or the next
Sure.
problem. And it's really keeping that focus, keeping that um ability to continue in one area and obviously from a career point of view there's so much challenges with career recruitment, so it's keeping that focus and trying to solve that one area is the
Yeah. Yeah. So it's focused then is instead of getting shiny objects, then you're trying to stay
yeah
on that
yeah
path.
absolutely. It's very easy to get shiny object syndrome, particularly as someone who works in technology and sort of in
Of course.
software and stuff. It's to add multiple features and get carried away, but to really
And
kind
what about then? What have you learned about yourself since you've been in business?
I think well one of the I suppose I've learned a lot over the last, particularly even since COVID,
Mm,
but I think it's about being resilient, it's about
mm.
being focused, and often you can overthink things as well. And I suppose it's just about getting started on something really helps
Okay.
me. Once I get the first steps done, or the first, I think you start to make a bit of progress. And I think it's from my point of view, it's just not overthinking things, and start getting a start on something is has been really helpful to
Yeah.
whether that be does it overthinking the design of as how something appears, or putting launches off until we get the next feature, or I can often sort of overthink the detail. And I think if I can just get started on something, and that's where progress happens, if you like, for me.
Progress over perfection, isn't it?
Yeah, well, absolutely. So
I'm so obviously coming up to your 10-year anniversary in a couple of years' time, and what do you think the
that's
next
hard to believe, actually.
isn't
It's
it?
not
Yeah,
when you put it like that there that you
you're
realize
around
how long it's
for
been,
a
but
while.
yeah.
So what does the next sort of 5 to 8 years look like for you guys, and what do you think the challenges are moving forward in that space?
Yeah, so I think one of the main areas that I'm excited about, and is the software platform. I can see it being applicable to lots of care businesses,
Mm,
particularly around, using more efficient rota scheduling, making use of people's time more effectively, better management of recruitment, whether, so the software platform is going to be the main sort of focus going forward, because
yeah,
I can just see it having the biggest impact on social care, not just in Northern Ireland, but wider. And obviously it's more scalable as well, and
sure,
will have the biggest impact in the care industry. So it's something that I'm really excited about over the next 5 years,
yeah,
particularly with AI and so much sort of lingo around that. But I think there is a lot of opportunity there to make the admin side of care more efficient and more
yeah,
effective, and less. Um, it's traditionally it's been very sort of detailed and very time consuming
yeah,
for employers and all that they have to do. And I think if we can use technology and use AI and use these all this types of things to to make um to make care the main focus and not the
yeah,
admin around it, I think
yeah.
we can have a big impact there.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, and it sounds from what you're saying, nearly there's so much involved that it might put somebody off going down that route. Whereas if you can, make it really simple, you're going to allow more people to get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. But also give them more opportunity to manage it more effectively,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and make it easier for recruitment and stuff. I think
sure.
that would be
So look, I always like to finish on this question, Austin. If you could go back and speak to an 18-year-old Austin, what piece of advice would you give him?
Yeah, like just even from COVID time, like over the last 5 years, so much has changed in my business, so much has changed in my focus and my projects and whatever. Um, and I think it's probably just not to overthink things, you
Mm,
know, focus on what I'm passionate about, focus on the problems that I want to solve. And I think that will sort of the opportunities will create themselves. I
yeah,
used to really get delved down, or something didn't work out, and I would get really frustrated about it, whether it be in a job or a project that I was working on.
yeah,
And I think it's just maybe not to overthink those things, and
yeah,
just
and
keep
that's
focusing on the project that I want to solve, or the
it's that
problem that I want to
resilience
solve.
piece as well, isn't it? Just not getting bogged down in something not going well, just keep moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, look, I really appreciate you coming on, sharing your story. It sounds like a really great project you're involved in. I totally agree that the SaaS platform is going to be very scalable for you. So, wish you well with it, and I'll be watching along on your journey to see how you progress.
Thanks a lot, Scott. I really appreciate you having me on and giving me an opportunity to have a chat about what I do and stuff. So,
My
yeah, thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Austin.